tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. Woo! I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. Okay. All right. It's about that time. I'm coming out tonight. 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 Okay. All right. It's about that time.
Turn those cameras on, people. Sorry, I had to put some music on. It's raining here. Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome everybody. As you're popping on, go ahead and turn those cameras on. Don't be afraid of the beautiful face that God has given you. Thank you, Miss Ruth. Thank you, Brian. All right, we're about to get started here in just a little bit with our training. We're just going to let everybody go ahead and get into the room. How's everybody's Thursday? Well, good, good. Well, here in just a minute, we'll go ahead and get started on the on some training. We're going to do a lot of Q&As today. So be prepared to speak, to ask questions, and I will answer them as best as I possibly can. But as you're coming on, turn those cameras on. When you've got your camera on, it makes us feel like we're all in the same room. Thank you, John. I appreciate you turning your camera on, Miss Ruth and Brian. Thank you, Mike. What's up? What's up? Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming in. Well, let me know where you're calling in from. I am in a little town called Dawsonville, Georgia, about a little bit of an hour north above Atlanta. So in the chat, where are you from? Mike's in Pennsylvania. Wake Forest, North Carolina, Inglewood, California. Love it. You'll love this. Deal driven can be used literally in any state in the United States. We got Mark Brown from Lawrenceville. Mark, you're my neighbor. Born and raised in Gainesville, Georgia, Mark. So I never made it too far from Georgia. Well, definitely got Florida on my mind today. I know we've got a big storm coming in again for them. Also, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So for anybody that is on this call that is a veteran, I truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done for myself and our country. So thank you so much for that. All right, well, I see people popping in. Hey, let's get to it. So I would love today to spend our time on a Q&A, like maybe what kind of questions you have. What are you looking to do to get started? How can you utilize our software, right, to work in the real estate investing business? All you've got to do is go to reactions and raise the hand, raise your Zoom hand, and I'm going to bring you live on here. I do meeting style on purpose instead of a webinar because we all learn more whenever we all learn a lot more when we're asking questions, we're being involved. So any question is okay to ask. I hope I can answer it for you. So I am one of the co-founders of Deal Driven Software. I'm a real estate investor myself. I've closed a little bit over 1,700 real estate transactions, anywhere from wholesale deals to fix and flips, to subject twos, to sandwich lease options, owner finance. Heck, I've even dabbled in land. Well, I didn't do a very good job with it, but I did do it, right? So any questions you guys might have, let's definitely bring those up. Okay, who in here in this group is new to real estate investing? Okay. Perfect. So Donald, let's bring you up and I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Let's see how we can help get your business off the ground today.
All right.
All right. So tell me about yourself. Where are you calling in from?
Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts. I was just in Newport, Rhode Island last week.
Okay.
So right there where you are. Okay, so what type of real estate investing are you looking to get into, Donald?
Wholesaling. So I saw Deal Driven, and it looks interesting. So I wanted to see how could that help me.
Okay. All right. Well, what I will do is let me actually share my screen. I'm going to get into Deal Driven right now. So I absolutely love wholesaling, Donald. So feel free to interact with me here. So
Okay.
if I were in Boston, Massachusetts, one good way to find deals, wholesale deals. Number one is driving for dollars, pulling lists. These things are great ways to find deals. So first, I'm going to show you what list I would pull, Donald, for
All
you
right.
to so that you could call and set appointments to go make offers. Does that sound good?
All right. Great.
All right. So first, we're going to go here to the search for property leads nationwide using a search filter. When you log into Deal Driven, this is one of the easy buttons here. So I'm going to press this here. Then what I want to do is I want to actually go to Boston, Massachusetts. Now, when I'm looking at Boston, okay, two ways that I could do this is I could do a search radius around the city center of Boston, or I could do what's called a polygon search. So we're going to look here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go ahead and look out 20 miles around the city center of Boston. But obviously, you're not wanting to call everybody and their brother that lives in Boston about their house, right? That'd be a waste of time.
Of course.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go and look for some motivation here. One really good easy button that I have for you is I love working tired landlords. Okay.
Okay.
The reason I do is because like usually they're free and clear. They're willing to take a discount. They are tired of being landlords possibly. So literally all you have to do is press this easy button. And there are 4,355 properties in Boston of people that have owned their properties before 2006, have at least 100% equity, and are non-owner occupied. So non-owner occupied means they own a house that they don't live in. Okay. Another list that would be good. This is quite a few to work at one time, so I might narrow this down a little bit. And maybe look at a certain zip code there in the town. Another thing I would look for is notice of defaults with no auction days. What does that mean? So when somebody is in pre-foreclosure, Donald, they've been served a notice of default or a list pendants, and the reason we know that they're in pre-foreclosure is because they were served that notice of default, list pendants, depending on what state you're in. So what we can do is you can go in and secure a buyer for them prior to them losing it back to the bank. Now, why are these the best leads to work? I'll tell you, because the longer someone's in default, the more the bank is charging them in interest and penalties. So truthfully, the closer that you work out a deal with them to the date of the list pendants, the more money that the seller is going to walk away with in their pocket. Because really, you want to make it to where it's a win-win for both you and them, so you could buy their home prior to them losing it back to the bank, and in most cases, put a little bit of money in their pocket so they're able to move on to the next stage of their life. Okay. So I wanted to feature these easy buttons. So as some of you are beginning to use Deal Driven, I've already got some really good lists in here through these easy buttons right here, just to kind of make it easy for you.
All right.
Okay. Or you could always go to Boston, Massachusetts. I'm going to scroll this down a little bit because I'm going to show you what I would do with this list.
Okay.
I'm going to take this down, and this is actually quite crazy to me. I'm also going to put an equity filter in here too, Donald. So we're
Okay.
getting people that have a little bit of equity and are in foreclosure. So right here under equity, I want them to have at least 35% equity or more. Remember, equity is the difference between what someone owes in their property
And
and
what?
what the property's worth, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you're wholesaling, if they don't have equity, there's no money in that deal for you.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show these results here. These are the pre-foreclosures that literally are in this area. You could see them by a map selection here.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to, you could also bring this down, the prices down. Like if you didn't want to work with the, you know, $1 million homes and you only wanted to work like maybe in blue collar homes. If I'm wholesaling, that might be something I would do here. But essentially, I could take this entire list right here of 181 and say add selected to a list. I'm going to create a new list and call these my pre-fours for Boston. Mass. And I'm going to go ahead and date this too. I'm going to date this for 11/10. And the reason I date this, Donald, is because new foreclosures come out every month, right? So you'll want to pick up all those new list pendants every month when more come in. That way you're always staying on top of the most recent ones. So I'm going to press confirm. So while this is spinning, what it's doing is it's tabulating all of the information about these properties and placing them in a list for Donald. So once this goes blue here, now I'm able to see my list in a list form.
Okay.
So let's go and look at a few properties here and what we're seeing here.
Okay. And I can do this with any other any city or county.
Absolutely, all over the United States.
With these particular motivations that you showed me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is exactly how I do deals. I mean, I'll tell you, foreclosures are really something that I work on, especially a lot right now, mostly because there were 4 million Americans in foreclosure at the beginning of the year. There's now close to 11 million.
Most definitely, yeah.
But let's take this one on Wambeck Street. I think I said that right.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so now this is where I'm getting all the tax information for this property. It's a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. So we got 2 baths and then a partial bath. It's around 2,800 square feet, not built in 1900. They are in pre-foreclosure because they were served this notice here back earlier this year. If you're looking for comps, right here, if you see this valuation confidence percentage of 97 here, what that tells me is that this is derived from the National Title Service. It's saying that they're 97% positive that the property's worth 612.
Okay.
So you can get the comp here. You can get the name of the seller. From here, you can send them a piece of direct mail directly from here.
Okay.
You could send a piece of direct mail from here with a picture of the property on the piece of direct mail.
Okay.
Here's one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to go here to owner's details. And I'm going to skip trace them and let's see if it comes back with any information. So this owner did not have a phone number that it could pull. But like if I were to go here and skip this whole list here,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see it's coming back. It's looking for these properties. It's running in the background, and I'll go show you how it finds phone numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so like this one, for instance, on 171 West 4th Street, Unit 1, you go here. Here are the individual's phone numbers, and it's also
Oh, wow, okay.
located their email address.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you could send them an email. I
Uh-huh.
know it's Stephen Kennedy's email probably because the owner of record, Stephen Kennedy, and the email is Stephen.Kennedy.
Okay.
Okay. So this is going to be phone numbers associated with him.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it could possibly be like, you know how like you might have multiple people on your phone bill.
Of course.
So it might also skip and find those phone numbers. So you might get like Stephen's wife or husband, or you might get their kid too. But generally the first number that comes up in the search is going to be most likely Stephen's phone number. Okay. So another awesome thing, you're a wholesaler. So what he's doing here, and I'm on to, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm going to take a minute and explain wholesaling. Okay. Wholesaling is the act of whenever you place a property under contract in hopes that you'll procure a back end buyer. So by having a signed purchase agreement with the seller, it gives you equitable interest into the property. Be careful, wholesalers, and don't go out and tell people that you are selling houses. It is illegal for someone to sell someone else's house if they are not licensed real estate agent and or broker. Okay. What you are actually doing is you are selling your equitable interest in that property to an end buyer, utilizing an assignment contract. So once Donald gets this house under contract and finds a back end buyer, he will then at closing assign the contract to the end buyer, and he will be a line item on the settlement report or HUD or the HUD 1. And he will get paid a fee. So he might put this house under contract for 100, maybe assign it to somebody for 115. So he's making the 15,000. When you see things that say no money down in real estate, this is what they're talking about, is the act of wholesaling a property. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing, Donald, here is if I want to find an investor for this property, here are the 100 cash buyers that have bought homes near this house.
That's what's up.
Ain't that what's up?
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, you'll see some people that have, like this person bought 2 deals. This possible. You don't even see how many deals they bought. You can come over here because that's too big of a list, in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, let me move some of the Zoom stuff because I can't see my screen. So you can come here under filters, and I wanted to say, well, I want them to be single family home buyers, number 1, right? Because this is not a multifamily. I want them to at least have put, this is a, you know, what was it, a $700,000 house? So I want an investor that's at least put in $250,000 in cash on a deal. Now we're down to 29. Okay.
Okay.
I want them to at least have bought 2 properties. I could say 5 here. You got 2. So, you know, here's a way for you to see all of your cash buyers in that area.
Okay.
Next, I can also pull comps. So not only did I give you the number that the National Title Service gives you, but I can actually go in here and like literally look at the property and see where my property fits on this data. So the subject property is this blue one here. Okay. So you can do that as well. Hopefully that has kind of give you an idea, like if you're starting in wholesaling, that'd be the number one thing that I would start doing right now, is I would start pulling those lists and I'd start giving those people a call.
Okay. Yeah, it looks easy.
It is easy. It was not made by like somebody in that doesn't do real estate. Like I needed this to do deals. You know what I mean? And I had to buy all this different stuff to do deals with. And I'm like, there needs to be a piece of software that does it all. And that's
Yeah.
also affordable. Deal Driven is only $49.99 a month. A
Yeah.
comparable app to this is $2,500 down and a couple hundred a month. And I also wanted something that was attainable for everyone to get, because when I got
Yeah.
started in this business, I didn't have extra money to spend $2,500 down to get a deal. But hope that helped, Donald. All right.
Most
Let's get
definitely. Thank
somebody
you.
else. Yes, sir. Let's get somebody else on. Raise your Zoom hand. You'll be on live here. Let's talk some shop. All right. Million.
Yes, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Finding you.
Good.
So I'm really interested in the, it looks super easy. And it makes it feel like I can actually do it. But I'm in Inglewood, California, and we have a really huge market and everything. So I didn't know, is it better? I see you can work in other areas. Is it better to I want to start off wholesaling first before, jumping into flipping, I guess, and investing in properties. But I didn't know if it was kind of better for me to try to start in my own area or try an area that is different.
Well, here's my opinion about that. You're talking about virtual wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
I personally wouldn't start virtually wholesaling first.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to get used to negotiating and things.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, I want to go out to somebody's home, look at their home, and put it under contract. People like to say, buy this book, buy these tapes, buy these CDs. I know what y'all are talking about, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I do that too. I train people in real estate. The best way to learn this business, and especially wholesaling, is actually going on appointments. Okay. By the way, I'm in Georgia. My largest office is in California, in Modesto, Turlock. So I would say there's plenty of opportunity out there for you. I would stick there, but also I would be looking for like blue collar working class areas. When you're wholesaling, most of your buyers are flippers or long-term holds. Generally, they're not going after $1 million homes. They're going after homes where you have the most buyers. And let's be honest, in America, we have more blue collar. I want to sell properties where most people buy, right? So when you get into these super expensive homes, your buyer pool goes down significantly. So can you think of an area like that right now?
I'm thinking more so of I'm thinking San Bernardino area. And I think it's like Rialto and Simi Valley. That's not in the LA area. That's kind of on the outskirts of LA.
Okay. Well, let's go look at it. So and two, if you did choose to do virtual wholesaling, what I'm about to show you is going to be helpful, because that's always, just a matter of opinion here. But if I'm looking in your area and I'm analyzing what you're talking about here, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap San Bernardino, California in here. Okay. So if you'll notice, San Bernardino takes me to the city center of this town. So I'm going to pull out, because generally in the very middle of the town is like the courthouse and all that good stuff, right? You'll also see little dots. If you'll notice this legend on the left-hand side, the orange dot stands for pre-foreclosures. Purple's vacant, blue is non-owner occupied. So if I'm looking at a city and I'm like, geez, where should I start marketing to, right? Knowing that my buyers like to flip houses and knowing that your buyers are looking for rental houses. I'm telling you, you should look at an area that has a lot of blue dots, okay? Because those are properties that people own that they don't live in. However, you've got to be careful about blue dots, especially like if it's an area where there's a lot of Airbnbs, because those are vacation rentals and not exactly like landlords per se, right? And it's not even that you're buying houses with blue dots. What it is that you're buying properties that have those characteristics around them. Okay. So like I'm seeing lots of blue dots here. So what I want to do is I want to actually go take a look here and do what's called virtual driving for dollars. Okay. So I'm going to go driving for dollars. You guys are going to come with me. We're going to do this live right here. And I'll show you how I would locate a deal right now. Million. Let's see. Let's go virtually here to this house. So I'm in Georgia and this is right down the road from you, Million. So I can literally drive up and down the road and look for properties. Even this first one that I'm looking at, right? Let's see. You're looking for properties that are in probably a desperate situation. So you're looking for things like overgrown landscape, sheets in the windows instead of the blinds. Maybe the paint's peeling off the house. There's garbage all in the yard. There's all kind of stuff. I mean, look, they've got a mattress in the front yard. This is not a terrible looking house. This is not anything like that. But if I was to identify this as a property that I'd be looking at, and sorry, my face is all weirdly in the camera. I'm getting old and I can't see as well as I used to. So anyway, so now when I'm driving down, look what I can do. I can look at this house, click on this house. I might want to add this to a list, Million, and say Million driving for dollars list, right? And I can just keep adding properties to my list here. I can add a photo right here into this property right from here. It's already in a list. Let's keep driving down the road. Let's go see what else we can find. Let's go look at. All right, we can keep driving down the road. Are you seeing anything that sticks out to you?
No, not yet.
You seeing anything now? Not really.
Not really.
So this is where you'd want to spend time going down. It's funny, sometimes the other side of the road can be a telltale. So instead of going out driving around looking for properties, you can sit at home and do it. Oh, we got the Juju Lopez family that lives there. Okay. So this is how you would drive around and look in those areas to kind of find what I like to call like hot pocket areas.
Okay.
Is that helpful? So you can like literally drive and look and like place them straight onto the list. Or you could do like what we did with Donald earlier, and you can literally pull a list, right? Sometimes you might find characteristics driving for dollars that will not pick up on a list.
Okay. Now, is the driving for dollar, the virtual driving for dollars, and is that all combined into one, or is it two separate prices for the virtual and just is that something extra? Or is that, I don't know how to say it, or is it all
We'll
into?
talk about the virtual driving search is going to be an extra $15 a month.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. And the reason for that is I have to buy this data from Google. So every time you go drive down the road, they ding the credit card. Like 1 penny, 1 penny, 1 penny, 1 penny.
Makes sense.
But that's a way to go look, because I still do driving for dollars to this day.
Okay.
You know, you can just drive around and look for properties that just look distressed, which may not come up on a list because it's the look of the house that's distressed, not that they're in pre-foreclosure or vacant or anything.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Million. All right, Susanna.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Julie. I have a question. For me, the running the list of foreclosure, pre-foreclosure houses, a more easier part. And when during all this time, when I try to call them, some of them didn't reply or told that that's wrong number. And I try to go to the addresses. Actually, I knock the door and I try several times. They told that they don't need any help. Please go. We don't need any help. So could you please talk a little bit about the negotiation part, how we can go there, how we can talk that they agree to deal with us?
Gotcha. And I love your tenacity. You didn't get them on the phone, so you went and knocked on the door,
Yeah.
right? Here's
Mhm.
another something else you could do. You could write a letter, but hand write the envelope. You'll have a
Oh.
very high open rate like that.
Mhm.
So when you're going to look at pre-foreclosures, and this is just from my experience, or you're cold calling, your goal is to not do a deal with them.
Mhm.
I know that sounds counterintuitive. Your goal is to build a relationship with them.
Mhm.
Okay. And what that means is that you want to help them regardless if you do a deal or not. Right.
Mhm.
Hey, Susanna, I specialize in helping people just like you to avoid foreclosure by buying their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. Or I do know of some other options that you might be able to do so that you could stay in your home. The thing is the longer that you wait to that auction date, the more money that it's going to cost you. Because every week and every day that goes by, they are literally charging you interest payments and penalties from attorneys.
Mhm.
So by you waiting, you're only costing yourself more money that you're going to have to eventually pay back. So I was wondering if I could come out there and meet with you, take a look at the home, and just with my experience, see if there's something we could do together to make it a win-win for both you and I want to help you regardless if I buy the house or not, because I've been there. That's what I say.
Mhm. 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 And if you are introducing yourself, you are telling that you are an investor?
I never call myself an investor,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you why. So I want everybody to kind of hear me out on this one, because every script you've ever heard says to call and say you're a cash investor, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't do well with that. I'm Julie from down the road. I'm not some big, huge company, right? Because the big, huge companies like Zillow, like Open Door, who, by the way, are not buying homes anymore, I can never compete with them. But let me tell you, they'll never compete with me.
Mhm.
Okay. So when I'm talking to a seller, like everybody on this call right now, you probably know more. You probably know 95% more about real estate than anybody in America right now.
Mhm.
Because you're in this, you just happen to know more about real estate. Well, let's think about it this way. Let's just say that I drive a dump truck for a living. And you call me and you say, I'm an investor. Hey, my name's Suzanne. I'm a real estate investor, and I drive a dump truck for a living. How do you think that's going to make me feel? What do you think the first thing that I'm going to think about when you told me that?
Nothing good.
I'm going to think she's going to take advantage of me, right? This person can't possibly correlate with me because they invest in real estate, right? So sometimes I buy homes, I fix them up, I buy homes and I rent them out, a little bit of everything in this town. So I don't call myself an investor. I just so happen to buy real estate. I fix it up and sell them. Sometimes I buy them and rent them out. Everybody can understand that. And then and then the other person doesn't become so guarded on the other end. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So they're not immediately like going, it's an investor. I got to stand up for myself. They're like, oh, cool. It's Suzanne from down the road.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that might help you a lot.
Mhm. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, Nathan. Nathan, where are you? Unmute yourself. Or did he go away?
Yes, my question was, how do you determine what you would give the homeowner and what you to kind of pay yourself? How do you structure that?
Okay, so on what type of deal?
Like when you're helping people that are in foreclosure.
Gotcha. So, but what, like with somebody that's in foreclosure, you could wholesale it, you could fix and flip it. And I'm telling you this just for everybody, not like I'm telling just you, okay? You could fix and flip it. You could buy it with a subject to. You could buy it with a sandwich wrap lease. You could do all sorts of things. So you would want to know what your end strategy is before I could give you what to pay for it. But let's just say, Nathan, that you're buying the home to purchase the property, renovate the property, and resell it. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So where do you live, Nathan? What city and state?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I had an office there, Nathan.
Nice.
Yeah, I did 600 deals there. I love Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Thinking
it's
about
nice
you
there.
today though, with the storm coming in.
Yep.
Okay, so I happen to just very much know this market. Stay out of 32254, by the way.
Okay.
So what I'm going to share my calculator.
Okay.
So Jacksonville, Florida is like a subprime market, which is actually one of my favorite markets to work. Meaning, like, think you're going to pay a little bit more for properties in like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City, right? Jacksonville's a major town, right? But you're not going to pay as much for a house there as you are in LA. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is the ARV, which is the after repair value. So I would need to know, really the best way for me to explain this is, let me pull this up. Let's go find a house to talk about in Jacksonville. Is that cool?
Yep.
I think we'll understand it more once we'll understand it a little bit more once we are actually talking about a property. I wished I could remember an address I did off the top of my head. Orange County is really good, or is it Orange something? Can't remember.
Orange Park.
Orange Park's a great area. Duval County is the largest landmass county in the United States. So we're going to go here and just find a house just for quick purposes, because I could talk about this all day. Okay, so let's go find a home. Okay, here is a vacant house, non-owner occupied. Why is this so important on a vacant, non-owner occupied house? Has anybody ever been to Florida? You should never have a house sitting vacant in Florida with the humidity the way it is. So so it's non-owner occupied because the owner does not live there. It's deemed vacant because the United States Postal Service has deemed this property vacant. So I'm going to pull numbers with you right now on what I would probably put this under contract for if I was to buy, fix, and sell this home. Okay, so we're going to look at the details of this subject property here. It's a good house. It's a brick. The ARV on this home is probably around 140. It is a 3-in-1. It is 936 square feet. Obviously, a 3-in-1 is not as good as a 3-in-2, but people will buy these all day long. So I'm going to go to the calculator right now. Are y'all seeing my calculator?
Yeah. No,
You
I
are-
can't see the calculator. No.
You see it? No. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Let me make sure we're seeing that. All right. So knowing that the ARV is 145, if I'm gonna buy, fix and sell this, you're gonna want to be somewhere between 65 and 70% of the ARV minus estimated repairs. Okay, so what I might do on this one, for this purpose, we're just gonna have to make up the repairs. I could tell by looking at that house, it's not gonna take a ton. It's only 900 and something square foot. You've only got one bathroom to renovate. So let's just pretend for this purpose that it needs $25,000 worth of work. Okay, we're just pretending here. So I'm going to take the 145, which is the ARV. Then I'm going to, now I'm going to get my percentages. So I'm going to look at, let's see, 70% of 145 is 101. Now I'm going to subtract $20,000 for the repairs. Okay. So your purchase price on this home is probably going to be somewhere around $81,500. Okay.
Okay.
That would be my range there. If I were wholesaling this home, like this is a good deal for a fix and flip. If I was to wholesale, I would even go up as far as 74% of ARV minus repairs. So I'd go 145 times 0.74 minus the 20 grand. So you know that somewhere between anything below, let's say 90 grand is probably going to be a decent deal there, as long as the repairs aren't over that amount right there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You can always wholesale a house you can flip, but you can't always flip a house you can wholesale. When you're flipping a house, you do not want to get into a phase where you're you don't want to get into a phase where you're overpaying, because you're paying interest on your money. Do you know what I'm saying? The market's changing, all these different things. So if I could give anybody any piece of advice on flipping homes, do not get attached to a house. You don't live there. Don't fall in love with it and overpay. The money on a flipped home is made at the buy, not the sell. If you buy it incorrectly, you can lose. So be very careful, because I know when I got started, I'd be falling in love with these houses. And I'm like, oh, I could pay a little bit more. You know what I mean? Or I'd go do the renovation, and I do renovation and spend money on things that you don't need to spend money on, that doesn't actually affect the sale of the house. And I know these seem like logical ideas, but just wait till you go see one you fall in love with. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, well, this would look so cute. All right. Thank you so much. Great question. Kathy?
Hi, Julie. Looking at the scenario you just gave, you said the offer, if you're going to flip that house, that 87,000 is probably a good deal. Now, what if you want to wholesale it? Do you then subtract your own fee from that amount, or where does your fee come from? Like your wholesale fee?
So you can always add your fee on top of whatever the purchase price is, right? So let's say it was Nathan, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Nathan got it under contract for, like, he's a freaking good negotiator and he gets it under contract for 80,000. You would add the fee to the 80,000 and you would market your equitable interest into the property at a higher price. Let's say 90. Okay. Again, I can't stress to everybody enough. Do not go out and tell people you're selling houses. You will get in trouble. Okay. So then this back-end buyer that's paying 90 is going to sign a purchase and sell agreement with Nathan. Okay. A purchase agreement with Nathan, not the seller, because Nathan already has the equitable interest in the contract. Then Nathan is going to get all of this to the closing title company, because in Florida, it's a title state, not an attorney state. So you do not have to utilize an attorney in the state of Florida to close on a property like you do, like in Georgia. Or I think Boston, Massachusetts is an attorney state as well. So then at closing, you're going to sign your buyer's going to sign another document, Nathan, called an assignment contract. So Kathy, on this settlement statement, It's gonna have all that mumbo jumbo about the price of the house and everything. And it's gonna say assignment fee made out to Nathan. Or if Nathan is smart, it's made out to Nathan's LLC.
Okay. Okay, so you add it to the price before you give it to the buyer, the actual buyer.
Yes, because if you tell them
Okay.
what you're paying for it, they're
Right.
going to negotiate your fee down.
Right, right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes. Also be careful, guys, though, because a lot of you are like, well, I want to make 30,000 on this deal. In wholesaling, your job is to create relationships with back-end buyers, right? That means
Right.
it's a give and take from both sides. So not like you don't necessarily want them to know, because you know what's going to happen when they get to the closing table and they see you're making 30,000. They might walk away. They might not ever buy from you again. I will tell you this, if you are making 30,000, I'd find some transactional funds and double close on it instead of assigning it.
Mm.
But right now, I would just add it to your sales price. Don't let people know what you have it under contract for. And always remember, if the numbers are coming in lower than what you have it under contract for, inside of your inspection period with that seller, you can always renegotiate that down to a lower price. All right, Suzanne.
Another question. For example, if investor the same time is a realtor, and is it okay if investment deals person can do with the LLC and rest of part, for example, do rehab with LLC, everything, all the document, and after that sell the property as a realtor? Can we do that?
There is nothing wrong with you being a licensed real estate agent and also an investor. For you, everything is about disclose.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So you have to disclose to the seller, hey, I'm a buyer and I do buy, fix, and sell houses. And sometimes I buy and rent them out, but I'm also a licensed real estate agent in the state of, I forgot where you were.
California.
In the state of California. So like, even if you're cold calling, I wouldn't go into it saying, I'm a licensed real estate agent, I can help you, da, 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 da. I would go into it and say, oh, by the way, I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of California, because you can't go on that appointment without disclosing that. She knows that. I'm just telling everybody else that may not know that, because then that's where you could get in trouble.
And this closing will be in paper, signed, like, hey, I told you that I'm a realtor, or just talking?
Both.
Both.
I don't know California law, but I do know Georgia law. If I'm a licensed agent in the state of Georgia, which by the way, I'm not, when I'm setting an appointment to go see somebody, I have to disclose that I'm a licensed agent at that point.
Got it.
But I don't say it at the beginning, because then they're trying to think that if you do, then they're thinking, oh, she's calling me because she wants to list my house. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And honestly, you're in the best scenario ever for pre-foreclosures, because not only can you buy their house, but if that doesn't work out, you could turn around and list the house. You have options. I mean, if I were you, I'd market myself like this. I'd say guaranteed cash offer in 24 hours if you list with me. If you're an investor, you can make cash offers on every deal.
Guarantee one more time. I am writing down guarantee.
Yeah, list with me, guaranteed cash offer in 24 hours.
In 24 hours.
It's a way for you to get more listings. But this is just advice, like don't, you know, but that's what I would do.
Thank you very much.
All right, Nathan. And by the way, anybody is welcome to ask questions. All you've got to do is raise your Zoom hand. The only question not worth asking is the one you're sitting wondering if you should or not. So let's go, Nathan. Thank you.
You might have answered this one already. I bought the software already, but I've only gotten partway through the course. So for like, say you wanted to do a fix and flip, do you guys, who does the funding on that, or how do we get the funding on that?
So are you inside of like a coaching program, or are you talking about deal driven?
And well, Deal Driven, I bought Deal Driven through the awesome REI course.
So you're in default deals, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there is no funding for deals with default deals. Cause see, like on this call, a lot of companies use my software, so I don't know like who you're with, right?
Okay.
So, but we do partner at Partner Driven on deals. But like you, I would like go through default deals and really hone in on the wholesaling piece of it. I believe I've given you all the contracts and scripts and everything in there.
Okay, but so maybe check out Partner Driven too.
Yes, but that's not my purpose to talk about today.
I know, but I'm just saying, check it out.
Yeah. I want to make sure I stay on what the agenda I'm supposed to be on. Thank you.
No, I
Dave.
got you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Donald.
Yes. So when I call a seller, how do I introduce myself? So you say you can't say I'm an investor. So what would I?
You can say whatever you want to, Donald. I just don't just say it.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're not licensed in the state, in your state, are you, as an agent?
I have a real estate license, but
You do?
I have a real estate license. Yeah, I just renewed it.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to disclose that.
Okay. Oh no.
You might want to check with your broker, but I believe in every state you have to disclose.
Okay, but what if I'm doing virtual, so if I'm doing virtual, I'm okay with that. But if I'm doing something within my state, I
Well, you
have
can
to.
do,
No, you still have to disclose.
yeah, I mean, I can't give you advice on your license. I just don't want you to lose it. I think you have to disclose everything. But you could
Okay.
also say, hey, I'm Donald. I, buy, fix and sell houses. I buy and rent them out. And heck, I'm even a licensed real estate agent in the state of Massachusetts.
Oh,
You know what I mean? That's disclosing. It doesn't mean you have to
Right.
say this whole big flop thing,
Okay.
But when it comes to your license, I'm probably not the best to give advice because I'm not. You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah.
But I don't know why you've got plenty of deals there in Boston, Massachusetts. I'd be working in my own backyard if it was me.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing that. Yeah. I know some of the counties out there, so like I'm definitely looking at those. Definitely.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Kathy.
All right, I'm in Illinois. And I understand you can only do one wholesale deal is it a year? What are the other ways you can then get rid of the property without doing the wholesale?
Okay, so you can wholesale one property a year. You're right, in the
Right.
state of Illinois,
Right.
right? Or you could, but what they are telling you is you can do one assignment a year.
Oh, one assignment.
One
Okay.
assignment. So what you could do is do a double close. You could utilize a real estate agent to list the property for you, for them to secure a buyer and then do a
Okay.
double close. You
Okay.
can fix and flip. You can do sub twos. You can do sandwich wraps. You can do lease options. You can do owner finance.
Okay. But you need like transactional funding for that double closing.
You can, yes, or unless you're working with somebody that has funding for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's many options out there for that.
Okay, but it's not in the program, the deal driven.
No, deal driven is simply like a piece of software that investors use.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I only have the deal driven program.
Which is good, I mean, honestly, everybody looked at this business and they're like, I gotta have this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. There's only one thing in this business that actually makes you money. And you know what that is? Making offers. If you don't spend your time making offers, you're wasting your time. You're never gonna make money if you're constantly, and so what deal driven does is it provides you a pathway to get to those motivated sellers so you can make an offer.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Renee.
Yes.
Hey, Miss Renee, I saw you had unmuted. Did you have a question for me?
No, I was just concerned about the funding once you actually speaking with a person. And I notice a lot is being done online now where you're not having contact with the person. And that's been my past experience. So now I'm concerned about the actual funding. You're doing the contract with the person. You may have a investor in your hip pocket that buys in a certain area. Where is that covered in your program?
Okay, so this is not a program, it's a piece of software.
Right, I'm sorry, I understand that.
Yeah. So if you were, let's say you were to get a house under contract, right? You
Mhm.
have a buyer in your, like your back hip, like you said, right? You are not coming to closing with any money. This buyer covers the closing.
Mhm.
You get paid from that. So they're the ones on title. You are an assignment fee on that closing dogs. So
Right,
like, just like, so you're not coming to the table with money on a traditional wholesale deal.
and I'm familiar with that. As a matter of fact, I'm just wondering in the information, the data that you have, do you have people in certain areas that are active investors that you can flip that deal to?
Absolutely. There's active real estate investors all over this country. And that's part, if you choose to wholesale, it's important that you build a buyer's database. Do
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
But you post your properties for sale on like, or you post your equitable interest for sale on, let's say, Marketplace, right? I used to post them on Craigslist back in the day. Let me tell you, if you've got a good deal in real estate, investors want to be found. Investors make money when they buy real estate.
Mhm.
So if you've got a good deal, don't be afraid to put it out there and buyers will come to you. You can also find buyers for a property on Deal Driven. Like I showed earlier. Well, we'll show you again.
Okay, great.
Okay. So do you see this property right here we were just talking about with the gentleman in Jacksonville, Florida? So I pulled up this property in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was pretending that on this property that I'm looking to buy it, right?
Mhm.
So I just was showing a certain property. You can also push find an investor.
Okay, that's what I missed. Okay,
There are going to be tons and tons of buyers in Jacksonville, Florida.
okay. That's what I'm accustomed to. I didn't see that. I must have missed it. And I was thinking there has to be somewhere in this format that
And you
have
can
it.
even, like, if you were a multifamily buyer, you could pick multifamily. It's single family. That's what I'm looking for.
Mhm,
I want them to at least invested, I don't know, $100,000.
mhm.
There's 9 good ones within a, let's see, I forgot what I put. There's 9 really good buyers within 3 miles of the subject property.
Okay,
Hopefully that helps.
yeah, that did help quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I think I will restart in my local area as far as seeing homes. 'Cause I had background in going out to see properties for flipping,
Yeah.
flipped.
You know,
So I
because I
think I'll
mean,
start there.
yeah, a lot of people are like the buzzword, like astro flipping, all this virtual wholesaling, all of that.
Mhm,
There's nothing wrong with it. It's that though, you don't know what you don't know. And it's easier to learn that in your neck of the woods than it is to do it somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
Because real estate is a relationship business, very much a relationship business. So with it being a relationship business, I like to go and meet people at their home. Okay. I've done tons of deals where I've never seen the house, but when you're fairly new and you number one, you've got to start learning how to see how much it costs to fix the house, right? And you're building a relationship with that seller and they trust you because you're going to do the right thing. When you're over the phone with somebody, right? And you're telling them, I'm great, I'm going to do all this, I'm going to do all this, and they've never met you,
Mhm.
it's hard to make that correlation over the phone sometimes. After you've done it for a while, you'll get better at that. That's why I always suggest go and do your local area. Like with me in Atlanta, I do have multiple locations, but just because of the many deals and the size of our company on the real estate investing side. But I could like invest in Atlanta for the rest of my life and never, ever, 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 ever run out of deals. There's plenty of houses for everybody. All right,
Okay.
Miss Nova. Miss
Hi,
Nova.
Julie. How are
Hey.
you?
Good, better than I deserve, actually.
I wanted to know, when I'm writing direct mail to the sellers, should I let them should I let them know that I am aware that their property is in foreclosure, or should I wait for them to tell me this?
I'll tell you, when I'm calling somebody, I ask questions that lead them into that answer, right? So I
Right.
may say something like, well, the reason for my call is I got your information from a list that leads me to believe that you need to sell your property.
Okay, so you don't say the word.
Almost 100% of the time, you're going to say to me, what list are you talking about?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now they asked me, so I'll say, well, I did notice that you have been served a notice of list pendants and you are in pre-foreclosure. And I, specialize in helping people just like you avoid foreclosure by buying their home prior to them losing it back to the bank. And also I enjoy putting a little bit of money in your pocket so that you can move on to the next stage of your life in a better position. And I have resources, even if I don't buy your house, Nova,
Mhm.
I don't want you to lose it. And I want to help you find these resources that are accessible for you.
Right. Yes, so in other words, you just let them lead you into this and you say that,
Well, yeah, you don't want to go, Nova,
Yeah.
you don't want to call somebody and be like, huh, you're in foreclosure and I'm calling you. You're
yeah,
going to hurt their feelings.
right, that's right. That's-
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or even worse than that, they're going to then become guarded because you just got into pride, right?
that's right.
Because you
Mhm.
called me like that, it's a prideful matter. I'm going to be like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't know you. I'm not. It's also a tonality. Like
Yeah.
if I'm doing driving for dollar calls, hey, this is Julie, da, da, da. When I'm calling somebody in pre-foreclosure, I have more of an empathetic tone,
right,
not because I do have empathy for what they're going through. I actually really did lose everything and went bankrupt and lost my home.
Mhm.
And if somebody like me would have came to me that 12 years ago, that wouldn't have happened to me. But because I had a manifestation of pride, I didn't want to reach out for help. Instead, I put my head in the sand.
right,
So what I do now is I try to help people pull their head out of the sand and let them know that it's okay and it can be fixed, even if
Mhm.
mistakes happened or just situational things.
right.
Sorry, I get real passionate about that.
Thank you.
But I do want to show you something with direct mail, what I would do.
Okay,
Okay. And I'm sorry I'm running over, guys. I know this is supposed to be an hour, but we're just having such a good conversation. Okay. So let's see here. Let me go to, I'm going to show you one I would do. I'm going to go to property photos. Here's a picture of this property that I was just looking at in Jacksonville, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to crop this image, right? And you'll see why in just a minute. Because what I want to do is I want to see this house in the photo, right? Imagine getting a piece of mail, guys, and it's your house. You're about to see why that's so important. Now I'm going to take this picture
Mhm.
and I'm going to make this my primary image.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the front page. I'm going to start a direct mail campaign. Okay.
Right,
I might say you could pick any of these you want. I'm going to say, is this your property? And I'm going to say start mailer. Okay. This account, I do not have my information in. To do this, you've got to have your profile set up. Let me just really quickly do this because I want to show you. Just give me just a second. Manage direct mail signatures, because I use different accounts to teach this. Okay, so we're going to go back here to that property. And I've already lost it. My bad. I made a mistake here. Forgive me. We'll just look at one in San Bernardino. I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to start a direct mail campaign. I'm going to use this particular home. I'm going to start a mailer. And you'll be able to see the mailer for this property on here. So you could push direct mail through right from here. All right, give me just a second. I am going to sign to another one of my accounts because I really want to show you this. I didn't have everything set up in this particular account yet. So go to, I was just looking at Dallas the other day, Dallas, Texas. We're going to go here. You can look at list view or card view.
Mhm.
So check this out. With one click of a button, I am able to send this piece of direct mail with my personal information on there. So it's building out this message right now. So if you'll look here, that's a picture of that house in Dallas, Texas. Isn't that neat?
That's neat, yeah.
So you could do that, or I could go and literally, like, here's a list. There's 255 in here. I'm not going to because I'll start getting calls from Dallas. But you could select all of these and say, I want to do direct mail. So literally I could pull a list. I could get their phone numbers and their emails and send them a piece of direct mail in less than 5 minutes. Used to, you'd have to go to one place to get a list. You'd go to another place to get the direct mail, right? You go to another place to skip trace. Then you'd have to try to like put all of that information together. This can all be done from one place. For those of us that's been doing it a long time, you used to have to go to the courthouse. You know?
Oh, yeah, right.
So time's the most valuable thing in your life, right? I'm starting to realize this now that I'm getting older. So the time and efficiency is amazing on that. All right, thank you
very
Ms.
much.
Nova. I'm going to take a new person, Miss Tammy.
Hey Julie, how you doing?
Good.
I finally got my access to my deal driven thing and I got on late today. So
That's
I was just
okay.
wondering, if you had, can we get a recording of this one today or do I have to wait
Absolutely.
till another Thursday?
No, absolutely. We'll be sending out the recording via email
Okay,
from
perfect.
Deal Driven.
And did you tell me that you did these every Thursday?
I do these, yes, absolutely. I do free real estate investing training utilizing the Deal Driven app every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. If I'm not on because like something's going on in my life, right? Then
Right.
I will put somebody, I have people on here that know just as much as me for you guys. So I don't ever cancel these.
Okay, perfect.
Because we here at Deal Driven, not only do we want you to have the app, we want you to use it and make money.
I know, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, Tammy, thank you. All right, Harrell.
Hi, Julie. Good day.
Good day.
I hope it's not too. I know we ran out of time. I hope it's not. The question is not too long. But there's a property I'm looking at right now that's in foreclosure, and the bank is selling the mortgage on it, right?
The bank is what?
Selling the mortgage on it.
Okay,
They're also, it's up for sale as well on the MLS. So I was hoping to like reach out to the seller and do like a short sale, or do a short payout or short sale, and be
okay,
the bank.
got you. So is it already foreclosed or is it in pre-foreclosure?
Pre-foreclosure.
Okay, so it's listed with an agent right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's listed with an agent right now, is it below market value?
No, it's not.
So it's above what the property is worth.
Yeah.
Okay, then the agent would be the one that is going to, that would have to submit that short sale.
So I wanted to be the bank and offer the discount to the homeowner.
Okay, so you want to be the bank. Okay, so are you wanting to take, like catch up their back mortgage payments and take it and then buy it subject to their existing mortgage?
No, they're selling the mortgage. I want to another platform is selling the mortgage. So I want to
If
buy.
there's,
I want to.
if, but then you're buying paper.
Yeah.
So
And
that
offer
means
the-
that means that they have already been foreclosed on, because the mortgage, the bank can't sell the paper on that loan. Like if they're in foreclosure because it's a lien, because they haven't paid the bill.
Right.
So you're buying the real estate. So you're wanting to buy paper. That's really not like what I'm talking about. That's a whole different thing.
So I wanted to like reach out to to do a reverse. So offer short sale, get the seller on board, and then buy it from the bank.
Yeah, you could do that, but once you list a short sale, they've got to put it back on for it to be accepted. It's got to be put back on the market for a week and listed as at highest and best. You know what? Here's one person to look up that would help you with this, that has free training, and her name is the Short Sale Queen out of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Look her up. I am not a short sale. I'm not the short sale queen. You know what I mean? I send all my deals to her because
Okay.
she's a professional at this. So I would go look at the short sale queen out of Dallas, Nicole Espinoza, and you'll be able to find more information on this subject. It's just not my wheelhouse.
All right.
Yeah,
I
great
saw how you were
question.
sending out like mailers. So I was wondering how to initiate a conversation through your mailers.
Well, because I'm sending out mailers because it's the seller is still on title. The bank
Yeah.
the bank has a lien on the house.
Yeah.
You're not buying it from the bank, you're buying it from the person on the title of the home.
Uh-huh.
So you're buying it from the homeowner.
I'm
You're
gonna
not
be the
buying-
bank. I'm gonna be the bank. I'm buying the mortgage from the bank to offer a discount to the homeowner, but I don't want to buy it from the bank unless I get the okay from the homeowner that they're gonna go through with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I would look at somebody that's that buys notes. I don't think I'm understanding you. It's not my wheelhouse. I'm sorry. I wished I knew more.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Short sale queen, right?
Short Sale Queen out of Dallas, Texas. By the way, she'll have her own show on HGTV coming up next month.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Donald.
Yes. In regards to the deal to the properties, does it have like pictures of the inside and outside?
No. Yeah, there's no way we could get inside pictures.
Okay, so like you have to like talk to the seller to communicate.
You're gonna have to see the inside of the house because you wouldn't know what to offer somebody unless you saw the inside of the house, right? So our photos come from Google.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like aggregating Google's data in here so you could see Google images.
Yeah. Okay. So like I'll have to talk to the seller, see if they have like an email, they can like email the inside to me, then I can like go from there about the offer.
then you can, unless you're going in person, and then you can just go walk through the house and take pictures.
Okay.
Because if you're going to wholesale a deal, you're going to have photos of the inside, the good, the bad, and the ugly anyway, so that you can assign it to an end buyer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like talks with the seller saying they could email me some of the inside pictures.
They
and then I
could, they
come
could
up with-
text them to you. They could do whatever they want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Donald. Great question. All right, Brian.
So do you have any special people with information?
I know a
on-
lot of special people. I'm just kidding.
Well, with experience on, so I'm in North Carolina. I put a bid on a property and didn't realize it was a HOA foreclosure.
Okay.
So I don't know my options if I win the bid.
You'll be buying the house. It's actually criminal what HOAs can do.
So what will I be buying the house at? At what I'm bidding on it?
So number one, the first thing that's going to have to be taken care of is the loan amount.
Okay.
Also, if they owe the government any money in taxes or county taxes, state taxes, then next you're going to get secondary liens like mechanics liens, child support liens, all those types of liens. But let me tell you, usually, generally, you got the HOA, you got the government, then you've got liens. So, but they have to fully disclose all of that to you. So the HOA can't sell the house and not pay back the lien holders.
Okay.
What I would do is it's up for auction right now.
Mm-hmm.
Contact the seller, see how far behind they are in HOA, see if you can catch them up and do a sub-2 on it. And you don't even have to you don't even have to buy the house for cash then.
So I just pay off what they owe, basically.
Pay off what they owe, yeah, but then they've got to leave if you're buying the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to have to leave regardless.
Okay.
But there's
Anyone
multiple exit strategies you could do with that.
yeah. So how would I talk to somebody to work something out that had more experience than me?
Hire a mentor.
Mentor? Okay.
Yeah. I've hired many mentors to get to the knowledge that I've gotten now, because for me, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to work with somebody that's done it and that has made mistakes already, so that I don't make the same mistakes.
Right.
Again, I'm
Right.
like, I'm fine. I done learned enough mistakes in my life to do it again.
Right.
So that'd be my advice, is hire a mentor that can help you with that.
Okay.
All right, Miss Million.
Yes, so I have a question. Earlier, you said that you do a training at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
Is that a link that we would kind of get in the email if we ask for it, or how does it work? 'Cause
Yeah, and you should be getting emails from Deal Driven
Uh-huh.
telling you about the webinar.
Okay, I'll check and see if it's in my spam, because I haven't
Well,
seen
it's actually going to always be the same link.
any. Okay, all right. So at the 2 p.m. and at the 3 p.m. it's the same link.
Well, I only do it at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once a week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. And but you might see me on other webinars for different companies and things like that too. But for Deal Driven, I do it on Thursdays.
Okay, cool.
All right. This will be the last question. Thank you so much for staying with us here today at Deal Driven, guys. We really appreciate your business, and we really hope you utilize our software to find your next real estate transaction. What you got, Donald?
I just want to know your contact info, saying your contact info, or you're on social media or anything.
I'm all over social media.
So
Yeah, let me go find it, the little links and things. Chloe, do you have my links handy? Let me see. I don't know if she's still on or not. Give me just a second, hon.
Give me 1 second, I'm looking.
I found it. All right, here in the chat. I'm gonna put all my social media. I put out free content every day on real estate investing. I'm trying to think here. Everyone in this meeting. Return. There you go. Those are ways to contact me.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Get out there, get to it. If you don't take action, you'll never, ever, ever close a deal. So again, on behalf of Deal Driven, we thank you for your business. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. See you later.